Illness, ill. Are you ill? Ill. So that's got to be an I and then L. Ill, ill, not eel. Are you eel? An eel, E-E-L, is one of those long, slimy, snake-like creatures that live in the water. So don't say eel, say ill. I, 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 e, I, e, I, e, I. Maybe you can see and hear the difference there. Ill, ill, illness, illness, illness or illness. Again, those, you can say or don't say e. Illness, too much. Even though it's the unstressed syllable. Illness, illness. Don't say illness, illness. And maybe because the E sound tends to create more stress as a vowel, it tends to be more predominant. E, illness, illness, illness. It's too much. Illness, 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 illness. Immune system. There's a U in the middle of a word, which also is going to be pronounced with a Y in front of it. Immune system. Immune system, not immune system, like moon, M-O-O-N, the moon up in the sky. It's immune, like Y-O-U, immune system. Immune system, system, not system. Remember, don't put that long E in there. System, it's always got to be like an I or an E. System, not system. Immunization. Immunization. Typically, when a word ends in that T-I-O-N, shun, the second to the last syllable is going to be stressed. Immunization. Immunization. Immunize. Immunize. Stress on the second to the last. Immunize. Incision. Incision. The C is pronounced like an S. The S is pronounced like a ZH, zh sound. Incision, incision. Stress on that middle one. Incision, incision. Not incision, incision. And not incision, on, no. Even though there's an O there, it's going to be incision, incision, bug, rug, tug, incision. Or incision. Incision or incision, you're going to be able to get away with those. Incision, no. Same thing in the next word, inconclusive. You see there's an O in there. It's not going to be inconclusive. So the con part is not a stressed syllable, right? Inconclusive, inconclusive. So that O is not going to be a long O. It's not going to be inconclusive. It's going to be it's just going to kind of turn into a lazy vowel. Inconclusive, inconclusive. And it's usually inconclusive, not inconclusive. Inconclusive. Just like infant, not infant, E, not that kind of a hard vowel, long E sound. Infant, infant. And then F-A-N-T is an unstressed syllable, infant, fant. And so that A is not going to be long, not infant, not infant even. It's going to be I or infant, 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 infant. Infection, infection. Again, because there's a T-I-O-N at the end, that shun, that T-I is always a shun, not shon. Remember, because it's not a stressed syllable, so it's going to not have a long O sound at all. It has to be a kind of a throwaway vowel. Infection, or I. Infection, infection. Either of those will be acceptable, but don't do infection. What the heck is infection? No one will understand that. Infection, infection, infection. You can't even say infection. Nope. It has to be infection. You got to get that middle vowel right because it's a stressed syllable. infection. Or infected, infected, or infected, infected. Those are fine, but don't say infected, or infected, or infected. It has to be infected. Okay, inflamed, inflamed. FL blend, you got to make sure that's an L, not an R. So it's going to go from F is teeth on the lip, L is tongue behind the teeth. You got to do them fast. Inflected. Oops, sorry. The word is not inflected. The word is inflamed, 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 inflamed. So any kind of ED on the end, it's going to just sound like a D put on the end. Inflamed, inflamed, inflamed. Don't say inflamed. It's just md, 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 inflamed, inflamed. Injury, injury. That J in the middle is a J sound. The UR is not going to be injury with a Y like we've talked about in some other words. It's actually just going to be a It's going to be an ER kind of a sound. Injury, injury. And the stress is on the first syllable. Injury. Her injuries were minor. Her injuries. Injuries. Injury. Injuries. Singular, plural. Injury. Okay. Intensive care unit. Intensive. 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 Now that one you can say intensive. Intensive. They're going to sound the same whether it's or but don't go intensive. You can't do intensive. Intensive care. Civ. 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 Intensive care unit. Just make sure you get that middle syllable correct. Intensive care unit. Intensive care unit. Not unit. Intensive care unit. Intensive care unit. Yeah. Makes it sound like a question. Can I do it without being a question? Intensive care unit. Intensive care unit. Intensive care unit. No. It just doesn't flow, doesn't sound right, it's confusing. Intensive care unit. ICU. 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 Let's see. How would you say that would be run together in a way that people wouldn't understand? ICU? Yeah, people wouldn't understand. ICU? 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 ICU would be, people would automatically think you're saying, I see you over there in the corner. There you are. I see you. So it can be said, I see you. I see you. No, it will probably always be stressed on the U. I see you. She's in the ICU. Internal. Internal. Pretty straightforward, except for, AL on the end is always kind of a throwaway, just L. Internal. Internal. Just move your tongue up there for the L. Internal. Internal. And N and L are kind of in the same place. So it's more like a just move your tongue slightly to push. Internal. Internal. At the same time as you're voicing that vowel a little bit. Internal. Internal bleeding. Internal. Itchy. So there's a CH in the middle, which is good because that's the sound we're making. So ignore the T. Itchy. You're not really going to say itchy. Itchy. It's just too hard. Itchy. That's how we say it. Itchy. That Y on the end becomes an E. Not itchy, it's just itchy. And the stress is on the first part. Itchy. Itchy. IV. Not ivy. If you say ivy, people are going to think you're talking about the plant that grows, the vine that grows up the wall. Ivy. So you have to put the stress on the V on this one. IV. IV. And there's a little tiny little stop in between where your throat closes up. IV. IV. That shows that it's two different letters. IV. Does she need an IV? Did you put the IV in? Where's the IV tube? I don't know.